most of you, I've had the chance to meet most of you individually, and it's definitely been an honor and a privilege to work with many of you, not just the board members, but the General Assembly and executive members. And we've had the opportunity to do a few great things together. I think the biggest challenge of all was to create an organization from a group of people. I remember some of our initial meetings about a year and a half ago, where we. Am I in the way?
You didn't want to be Catholic.
I actually want to turn this off, to be honest with you, because I don't have any slides, and I guess that's one of the things that I'm trying to change a little, because I come from a very strong business background. I have my undergrad and my master's in business and management. I'm very used to a corporate structure where you go in with your agenda, you go over your items, you make your presentation, and you get commitments and move on. And that's kind of how we started. We made it more of a business structure where it's all about actions, goals, objectives, and mapping that approach. I think my biggest stake for being part of a nonprofit is that this is great in accomplishing things and getting from A to B, but we can't forget about the emotional aspect of it, about the personal commitments, and being able to build on that. So, my vision for the organization, actually before I get to my vision, I just want to go over some of our accomplishments for last year. The big one being that we do have EAD. That came, from us as individuals. We sat down, we talked about different ideas. We came up with a name, with a logo, with a vision and the mission. That in itself is probably the biggest accomplishment that we were able to do. Once we had that, we tried to decide, well, what are we going to do with this? It's great to have an organization. There is a new Egypt. There are a lot of things to be done, but how can we, as a small group of Egyptians living abroad, how can we translate that into action? And I think we've been, working through that from day one. We've gone through many different ideas. Some are, investment related. Some are education related. But at the end of the day, our goal and our vision has remained the same, and it's all about how can we help Egypt and also help ourselves as a community. I think we were successful in a few things, getting community events to let people know about who we are, what we're trying to do. I think we did a pretty good job of that. People in the Egyptian community know who we are. People in the Arabic community know who we are, but not necessarily enough to translate that into full partnerships and signed agreements and so forth. But I think that's where we want to do next year. We want to translate this awareness of our existence into action, and go beyond the personal relationships and having phone numbers of people you can talk to creating plans, to creating teams that can work together, and be able to have a self-sustaining organization that's not associated with me as an individual or people on the board. Trying to build this as a true organization from the ground up. So I think that's something very important to do. In terms of next year, what's going to be different? Hopefully, there's going to be a lot less of PowerPoints and corporate structure type meetings. I think they're important to get some things done, but it doesn't necessarily convey the effort that we put in, the vision that we have, the emotions that go along with this work, and try to make it more of a social gathering. Whether it's a potluck, whether it's a picnic, or guest speaker that comes in to talk about different things. Something that's more interesting. We found out that we have more success when we have someone that comes in with a new message, a new idea, or someone that's well known in the community. We're able to attract a lot more people than the structure that we have now. So that's one thing we want to do. Obviously, our focus on education is important. We want to build on the initial success that we were able to do. We reached out to many universities. We talked to different organizations. We got some great ideas. So we want to move from having all this input and all these ideas into continuing with the project and being able to execute on it. So that would be wonderful. I think, very privileged to work with the people that are on the board with us this year. Unfortunately, for personal reasons or or relocation, we're not going to have some of these people. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing the work that you did, Darlene, and for Shireen and Sharif, who's not with us, who's in Egypt now. For me, being able to be part of EAD has definitely been, an eye-opening experience. Not just for me individually, but to also know about the Egyptian community in Chicago. I guess I'm in a unique position where we have, people that are born and raised in the U.S. like Mary, or people like Zahid that are fairly new to the U.S. I'm literally halfway. I was born and raised in Egypt. I've been in the U.S. Just as many years that I have been in Egypt. So I think I bring somewhat of a unique perspective in that sense, in that I do have my network here. I do have my understanding of Egyptian culture, and I'm able to mix the two fairly well, I hope. With that, I think being able to run again for president was not my preferred option, to be honest with you. I think it's important to have new faces with new ideas, and out of the people that I reached out to become president, there was a lot of pushback saying, the work is not finished yet. We really have to get to a different level before we can hand this off. So I do understand that message, and willing to put the commitment and the time to make that happen. But I do want to stress that we don't want to make this organization about people or individuals. It has to be an organization built on ideas, and no matter who's in the driver's seat, we can execute with these ideas and be able to accomplish something for us